Good morning, everyone. There's really nothing like talking about travel on a Sunday morning. I know we usually sit there with our newspapers flipping through to see where we're going to go on our next adventure, but today is the perfect time to be talking about travel. I have the pleasure of taking you through three of our absolute most favourite itineraries, which are currently on promotion. So now's a really, really good time to book, and they give you exceptional value to see our country this year and next year. So grab yourself a coffee. I know I have. And we're going to see why now is the perfect time to be booking in some of these fantastic packages and take advantage of our 750 reasons why to book your next Australia adventure right now. So let's have a quick look and see what we've got in store for you right around this fantastic country of ours. All right, now we're going to start with the best of the best. This is our absolute favourite itinerary at the moment, and our customers are telling us exactly the same thing. Our 15-day Kimberley and Kakadu itinerary. Now, this one, I just absolutely love this itinerary. It is really a two-in-one bucket list trip. Now, if you're going to go all the way over to the Kimberley, why not do Kakadu at exactly the same time? So you're going to get to see two parts of this incredible country, both in WA and the Northern Territory, and you get to explore the Kimberley region plus the Kakadu and Litchfield National Park region as well. Now, this particular itinerary does start in Broome. You get to have mostly four-star hotels all the way through, so really, really nice and comfortable levels of accommodation. The sightseeing is what it's all about. Now, usually, if you're going to go to the Kimberley and you want to see some of these things, it's reserved for those really high-priced itineraries, $10,000 plus. We're bringing you some really exceptional value to go and see some of these points of interest. To start off, what you actually get to do is go and see the horizontal falls. Now, this is probably the biggest draw card in the Kimberley region that everybody wants to go and see. Now, we're going to take you up there in style. You start in Broome. Usually, it's about a day trip up there and a day trip back. We're actually going to fly you up there. So you get to go on a light aircraft. They fly you all the way up to the horizontal falls. You then board a specially designed boat to obviously then traverse the falls themselves, and they take you right across that spectacular tidal force, which is fantastic. Then they get to fly you back to Broome, where you fly on to your next point, which is Kununurra. Now, that's another real key highlight here, I do feel. We're actually flying you from Broome to Kununurra to Darwin. Now, usually you'll be in the back of a bus bumping over some very, very rough roads throughout this region for hours on end. This is a great way to see this area in a much shorter time frame and a little bit of comfort as well, where you get to fly from point to point as opposed to coach from point to point. Now, when you do arrive in Kununurra, there is probably the next big highlight that everybody wants to go and see. This is where you're actually going to get taken south down to the Bungle Bungles, which is fantastic. And they're actually, again, going to fly you down. So instead of wasting time to try and get there and back, you actually board, again, another aircraft. They take you down. You actually get to fly over the Bungle Bungles on arrival, which is fantastic. They then land in that region. They take you through a walk through that incredible national park. And if you do want to have the option of actually adding on a 30-minute helicopter flight as well, which I know a lot of people are saying that they just have to do it once there. It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience. The helicopter allows you to get that aerial vantage view over the Bungle Bungles themselves, and you get up nice and close to have a look at this spectacular rock formation. Now, it's not finished yet. You then get to go up to the Northern Territory, where we fly you up to Darwin, and then you actually do a Kakadu, Litchfield, and Katherine tour. So one night in Kakadu National Park, which is where you get to see the spectacular scenery. You get to go down to Katherine, where we visit Katherine Gorge as well, and then up to Litchfield National Park, which is where the incredible waterfall spectacular is in that part of the world there as well. So this trip is perfect, starting from 5,999. Now, if you wanted to go this year, sorry to say it is sold out, but now is the time to book for 2022. Do not let this go by. We've seen it already this year. This destination is just completely in vogue at the moment. And so now's the time to lock in 2022 for Kimberley and Kakadu if you've missed out to go in 2021. On to the next one. So this one is equally as spectacular. Again, another destination which people are just flocking to at the moment. Spectacular part of the country, and one that not a lot of people get to go and see. It's our 7-day Cape York, Daintree and Cooktown experience. Now, this is available for 2021. That is incredibly special. Most things are sold out for this year. So now is the time to be booking this particular trip and actually get to go up to the Cape in 2021 or 2022. We've got both dates available for sale. Now, this one is awesome. You get to start in Cairns, and what they actually do is they fly you up again by light aircraft. It is a day trip, so they take you up from Cairns. The flight is roughly 2.5 hours, but what's fantastic about it is it's actually a low-level flight. So you get to go low-level over the reefs, over the rainforest, over all of the water rivers up in the Cape there. So you get to see everything from obviously, around that sort of 10,000 feet vantage point where you can have a bird's eye view of that whole region. You land up at Bamaga, which is exciting, up on the tip. They pick you up by 4-wheel drive, and then you get to do 4 to 5 hours 4-wheel driving through that part of the world. You get to go and see the incredible river crossings. You get to go see, obviously, stand on the tip of Australia. Everyone asks that. Yes, you do get to stand on the tip of Australia in this particular itinerary, which is fantastic. And then you board your flight once again and fly back down to Cairns. So really, really great way to go and see the Cape. Again, if you're going to do that by bus, it usually takes somewhere between 4 to 7 days to get up there, depending on how quickly they go. Really rough roads. It is spectacular, yes, but this is a perfect way of condensing that time down, going to see the Cape plus going to see other parts of far north Queensland. So the next one you get to do is Cooktown. Now this one is a 3-day trip. We actually get to go on a specially built 4-wheel drive coach. They take you up to Cooktown. On the way, you get to do the Daintree Cape Tribulation as well. But Cooktown's really what most Australians obviously are there to see, just purely because of the history in that particular area. Obviously, James Cook moored his boat there. It's got the James Cook Museum. It's also got the cemetery there, which is a World Heritage listed cemetery. And so really, it's a really iconic place for most Australians to get to once in their life, which is fantastic. This allows you to do that, which I absolutely love. Once you're up there, you get to go and have lunch at the Lions Den Hotel. Now, this hotel is a bit of a pilgrimage mecca, I guess. It is just plastered with paraphernalia and history on every single wall, and so it's a fantastic place to visit when you're up in Cooktown. So this one, again, it's available for 2021. So if you really want to go to the Cape this year, this has to be the itinerary for you. There's dates starting as soon as July, right through to the end of the year. And then you've also got dates through starting from next year as well, which is fantastic. So a really, really great way to go and see Cape York this year. Now, 12-day Tasmanian Deluxe road trip. So we're coming to the end of, I guess, that winter travel period. If you're going to go to far north Australia, you really want to be going fairly soon. The season starts in May, runs right through until the end of October is usually when most of those trips stop. But then most people are thinking about coming south, and this is a great trip to do as well. So this one is the works. It's the full circumnavigation of Tasmania. Now, it's been designed as a self-drive, so a really great way to see Tassie. Tassie is just like the perfect driving destination if you haven't been there before. The roads are quiet, they're unbelievably scenic. It's not too far point to point, so the days of travel are very, very short. And so by car, I reckon, is the best way to see Tasmania. So this one actually includes 10 days car rental included, which actually has the excess reduced as well. So it's all a fully inclusive car hire experience. The car that you get is like a Toyota Corolla in size. However, there are upgrades if people wanting a slightly bigger vehicle, which is fantastic. But what I love about this itinerary is if you were to do this with, a luxury tour or something like that, you'd be paying upwards of $6,000. This one is only $2,699 for particular departures, and it represents incredible value. The hotels are a stunning 4-star throughout, in most cases, really, really nice centrally located hotels as well where we can provide them. There are a couple of 3-stars because that's all that exists in some of those towns. But for the majority of the hotels, a really comfortable level of accommodation. You get most of your breakfast. You get 4 lunches. Now, we'll talk about those in a minute because they are unforgettable lunches. It would seem this is like the culinary journey of Tasmania. So if you do like your food and wine, this is probably the trip for you. Now, there's a whole bunch of sightseeing included. Yes, it is a road trip, but you actually get to see a lot of things as well with the included sightseeing that we've packaged in for you for this particular itinerary. So to start off, you get down to the Tasman Peninsula. Now, Tasman Peninsula is down where Port Arthur is, where the convict colony was, which is fantastic. It's also a really interesting part of the country. There's the Tasmanian devils, obviously are synonymous with this part of the world. And the Tasman Peninsula is actually the last spot in Tasmania where this terrible, terrible virus that actually has affected the Tasmanian devils with with a cancer hasn't got to. So it's the last place where the Tasmanian devils are protected, because it's a tiny little peninsula on the Tasmanian land portion there. We actually cross a bridge, and they've managed to stop this terrible virus from infecting the rest of that population. So it's really, really important from a conservation perspective to protect those Tasmanian devils while you're there as well. So this place is a great place to visit. They take you out on a cruise. Now, it would seem everywhere that you're doing a cruise in this itinerary, you're pretty much going to be wined and dined the whole time, which is great. So you get to do Eagle Hawk Nest, Port Arthur. They take you out on a cruise in this particular part of the world. You then drive up the west coast, up to Strand Stanley as well. You get to do the Gordon River, another cruise. Again, when you board the cruise, all your food's included, plus you've got sparkling wine, beer, and soft drink. You then get to go to Cradle Mountain, which is just a stunning part of the world, and with that iconic mountain range that sits behind it. You then come into Launceston, and from Launceston, we get to take you to what I reckon is probably one of the nicest winery experiences to do in the country. So Joseph Schromy, it's actually voted in the top 10 cellar door experiences in the country. Now, I live close to a couple of wineries. There's probably 10 just next to me within a few kilometres. Unbelievable. This one is in the top 10 out of all the thousands that exist in this country. So it's a really, really, really nice day where you get to do wine tasting, have a gourmet lunch there in the vineyard as well. You then get to drive over to the East Coast. Now, the East Coast is where Lonely Planet's voted it one of the most beautiful and stunning places to visit in the world, not too recently. They take you down to Coles Bay. So we drive down to Coles Bay and you board another cruise where you get to do the incredible national park, Wineglass Bay, which you can just see in the picture here, actually, which is just that stunning area where it's just absolutely beautiful, jaw-dropping scenery. This is a captain's club cruise, so you actually get to have, it's for adults only, all your drinks are included. You get to dine on oysters, salmon, fish, seafood, freshly caught that day, and you get to go around the Wineglass Bay region, which is just stunning as well. Back to Hobart. As I said, the full trip of Tasmania, this is the one to do if you wanted to see that part of the world. Now, if you are in the southern states and for whatever reason you want to bring your own vehicle, you can absolutely do that as well if you wanted to take the ferry across, and we can take off the cost of that hire car for you as well. So 2,699, really, really, really thorough trip of Tasmania, and probably the one to do if you've missed out on going to far north Australia this year. Now, why should you book today? You got to act now. We've had these on promotion for a while. They've been super popular. So we've got an offer at the moment, which does end on the 14th of April. So only a few days left to take advantage of some of these. It's available on all the trips that we've just looked at, plus some of the ones that are on the website that you haven't seen yet in this presentation, but there's heaps of trips available. You'll see on them $750 bonus offer. Now, what that includes, obviously, everyone's wanting a little bit of security at this stage. It's a little bit uncertain. I think we're coming to a point now where the borders seem to be a little bit more, I guess, less reactive than what we've seen in the past. So hopefully we're not going to encounter too many of those problems moving forward. But what we've included as part of this bonus offer is actually the free date change flexibility. Now, what that allows you to do is up until 60 days prior to your departure, you can actually change your date free of charge to another departure date on that particular itinerary. So that gives you some confidence that you can purchase these ones. And if something should change in between now and the time of travel, up until that 60-day mark, you can obviously go and change your trip at a later stage to a date later in the year. The other one that's in there as well is it's got a fantastic cooling off offer. So if you're watching this today and you're thinking now's the time to be booking something, you've actually got 28-day cooling off for these particular packages. Now, what that means is if you were to deposit today, and as you can see there, it's only a $99 deposit, you actually can get a full refund, no questions asked, within the 28-day cooling off period. So it's a reason to lock in your date now and start dreaming about that next holiday and kick your Sunday off in style, but you've still got that 28-day cooling off for peace of mind. The other thing that's in there as well is $750 worth of travel vouchers. So what this allows you to do is you actually get some Inspiring Vacations vouchers for your next trip, and you actually get some Travel Spree vouchers for another trip. Travel Spree is our domestic brand where you can choose from a range of domestic holiday packages, things like Port Douglas, Noosa, golfing packages, walking trips as well. But you also get those Inspiring Vacations vouchers as well, which you can then go and lock in 2 trips if you want. We've missed out on travel for a whole year, so now's the perfect time to use those vouchers to lock in 2 trips at once. Now, book now. Spaces are extremely limited. I did mention before the Kimberley has just been absolutely in vogue for the last 6 months. That destination is heavily booked for 2021. Do not miss out on the other two. Australians are saying that they want to get back out and traveling again, and they want to see their own country. So now really is the time to be locking in that next trip, because spaces just won't last for this year especially. Very important. If you wanted to speak to us about any of these things today, we're actually open. So please do call us. We're open from 9 to 5 today. Our team is manning the phone. So as you can see there, please do give us a call, 1300 88 You can also visit our website at any time, obviously, and you can interact on our chat there if you wanted to speak to one of our team members about one of these trips. But we are open 7 days. So do call now. Super important to be booking in that next holiday. I think everyone deserves a holiday after the year we've just had. So make sure you go and check these ones out. Thanks, guys.